Welcome back to finals week of the SpyParty Major League. My name is Deboshi, joined by Opie Wrights once again, and we've got the Ruby Division Championship Finals for you between Wrestler and Graash.
Yeah, this is bound to be a very, very exciting match here, Tobo. I'm in particular excited to see Wrestler here at the top of the division playing for this finals. Wrestler has been one of the most active players recently and has improved a lot. I can attest because I have played Wrestler, and it's not gotten easier. Let me tell you that.
Yeah, Wrestler and Graash, both very impressive, very capable opponents. Wrestler is, again, one of the few spies to make it to a 50% win ratio.
Yeah, and we have an identical win rate on the sniper side, but we'll get to that. Wrestler here with a pretty strong record, beat Graash in the regular season, but it was a close thing, very, very small margin in that match, and did take a loss to Beanie during that. However, as you mentioned, 50% on the spy side and 73% a very, very respectable score on the sniper side.
Yeah, absolutely. Pub, Ballroom, Aquarium as the preferred venues, trying to stray away as much as possible from Library and Veranda, as there are very large venues, and also Terrace, because Terrace.
Yeah, Wrestler does appear to like the a bit more spire-sided venues, in shying away from those that are more sniper controlled. So that is our card for Wrestler. And on to Graash now. Graash here has been in the community for quite a long time at this point and has played many, many games in that time, and is well known, most well known for coming up with various ways to improve memorization while playing the game. So that is going to be very, very scary for the sniper side of Graash here.
Absolutely. As you were saying before, same sniper record as Wrestler had, as 73%. 44 on the spy is still very good, still more than respectable, but not quite up to the 50% of Wrestler. That and their previous head-to-head would suggest that Wrestler has a slight edge going into this matchup, but this is another one where they are very close, very easily matched, and could easily go either way.
Yeah, and Graash, the biggest difference I feel like between these two players is that Wrestler has had more ability to be active and to practice during the SML season in the lead up to this match. Not that Graash hasn't been able to practice at all, but Wrestler, as I mentioned earlier, one of the most active players, and that has always been a very strong indicator of success whenever you see someone just looking for games all the time, trying to get as much practice in as possible. But we'll see if that can be enough. Let's go on to the draft. I believe that Wrestler does have the seed advantage here, so we'll have the extra single.
Yep, exactly. They've got that one extra venue pick. So Wrestler bans out Aquarium, Graash bans out Pub. This leaves us without, I believe, one of each of their favored venues. Well, Wrestler is going to take out Ballroom from the possible doubles, as Graash restricts Modern. So that leaves us with the doubled Redwoods from Wrestler, doubled Gallery from Graash, then Balcony, Modern, Taiyan, Library, and Ballroom to round it out.
Yeah, this is very interesting because we saw those player cards. Wrestler has Aquarium and Ballroom picked as most liked venues, but still banned Aquarium and restricted Ballroom, really trying to deny Graash any sort of comfort in this match, despite the fact that Wrestler likes those venues himself.
Yeah, that's usually not the tack you see people take during the picks and bans. Usually, they are much more interested in making sure they are comfortable than they are in making sure their opponent is not. But perhaps this could be some mind games from the previous match they played, and maybe they just know each other very well. But it's going to be very interesting to see how that particular set of picks and bans turns out.
I agree. And since Wrestler got to choose who went first in the draft, Redwoods is first, and Wrestler also got to choose to spy first, which makes some sense. Redwoods is one of the highest spy win rate venues that we have because of all those trees, because it is so difficult to snipe, and because of the mission density, allowing lots of different options for the spy, and a lot of options for AI to do completions as well.
So that's who we're playing. That's how we got here. Let's see how the match itself played out. We've got Wrestler starting things out on the Spy versus Graash's Sniper in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
It is interesting to see if we want to go for a Chaos Bug. It's very common to do that on Redwoods, and they can be very strong. Instead, we're going to see a quick flirt out here at the front and an innocent watch check.
Just sprinting straight off to our seduction target at the windows, getting as close as possible, and getting as much reward as we can out of it with a 51% green flirt.
Yeah, note the Smallman next to General here going into this red book. That's going to be a big, big impact on this game going forward. Even if Smallman doesn't do anything else for the rest of this game, that's going to be an attention draw for sure.
Absolutely. Smallman exists and thus is very suspicious. There's the second flirt and another close screen to finish the flirt in 2. Also in conversation with the double agent here, so that could be useful.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to do it quite yet, as Smallman is not in conversation in general, and Smallman have been just kind of in the same spot a lot in this game so far. So if I were a Wrestler, I would absolutely want to keep them in for contact at all costs, because they are probably some of the biggest attention sinks in this game so far.
Well, Wrestler seems to agree with you, not taking that contact when it was offered. Instead, going for a briefcase to see if they can pick up a fingerprint, which they were not able to hint at, as it was a difficult print, and they missed the green test. So just picking up a delegate from the bar and heading back inside.
Yeah, and the double agent leaves that conversation. Double agent leaves both conversations and joins a smaller one the SDA does. Our DA comes back to this one, and now it could end up being a decent time to contact. However, it started, AIs are now starting to move around, and suddenly it doesn't look quite as nice.
They are indeed. I don't think we're quite in bug range. We're just slightly too far out. The contact happens. The delegate happens immediately afterwards. Assuming we get here first, and I believe she did, that should be able to come off in time.
I don't know. We waited a long time. This is going to be close if it does come off, though.
It does indeed come off.
There
There's
it goes.
List gone.
Highlight on to Teal here. We were highlight when we visited bar, so you would expect Graash to have some awareness of the fact that we were there and could have done this purloin.
This ambassador has been in the danger zone for a very long time. Graash is having to spend a lot of effort guarding it. There's the bug, but he was spending that effort guarding it. So Graash is able to find the shot and pick up game number 1.
Yeah, I think that there's a slight execution error on Wrestler's side here. You want to delay starting this bug for just a split second longer, because if you start it immediately as you leave, you're going to get what we see here. The arm facing the sniper is the one that's going to be sticking out and doing the bug, which makes it quite easy for Graash, who was paying close attention to that potential bug, to catch and shoot. Whereas if you delay it slightly longer, you'll get the other arm, and I think that Graash was enough on top of it that he would still be shooting it, but you're giving yourself better odds. So maybe a minor mistake that didn't matter anyway, potentially, from Wrestler. But that doesn't mean all that much. It's still the first game of the set, and we have some long sets. So
one of the few times where the wrong arm bug was, in fact, the wrong arm. Let's see if Graash is able to really secure that lead from the spy side of Redwoods. In 3, 2, 1, playing it.
I have to imagine we're going to be doing the same thing and finding our ST early. No, never mind. We bail out. We decide I don't want to be seen over at this very small pad with one other guest and pick up the suspicion for that. But I feel like we could have gotten away with it.
I think so, too. It looked like the plan very much was chase down that seduction target and get the early flirt. But I think tucking into that that tight pad with them was just a slight bridge too far. We are able to get a flirt pretty early on, though, as we chase into conversation. A close green for 51%.
Yes,
same as
indeed.
Wrestler got.
No other progress, and I feel like this game has been a little bit slower than the previous party that Wrestler had thus far. But that doesn't mean that it can't pick up, because it can always pick up on Redwoods.
Absolutely.
However, the problem is if you're Graash, never mind, you have no problems. You contact.
Oh, that's such a good split. Banana split coming out of Graash. As soon as the double agent steps foot in the conversation, the contact is out and Graash is gone. Out to the bar we go to pick up a delegate, but that's a mission completion. Fingerprint as well.
A difficult fingerprint at that. This could be the way we finish in this game. Flirt, Purloin, contact, and fingerprint off the statue, perhaps, would be very strong.
Slow to very fast in an instant.
Our ST, however, is being a little bit uncooperative. We do have that 51%, but they're doing a briefcase. We want to get that next flirt now.
Still a minute and a half to play, so we've got time to work with. We've got other things we can be doing in the meantime rather than chasing down the seduction target. Delegate has been sent
to Smallman, who unfortunately is an SDA in this particular instance, but we do go for this. We're going to go for the second print here off the statue. We're going to pick up a highlight. I can't tell if that's for 2 prints or if it's for just the statue. Purloin is gone. What does Wrestler see? We would be in Mission 1 countdown if we had our flirt, but we don't.
I don't think Wrestler... Nope, did get a good look at that list, I guess. The shot comes off. A fairly strong shot as well. So that's going to keep things tied up at 1.
Yeah, a nice shot, but something to point out, had we already had our flirt done there, game would have been over before the sniper shot spy message. So that would have been a spy win if we had had that flirt already done. So nice try from Graash, but unfortunately... our ST is a little bit too rude for us to get that game through, and Wrestler, nicely done, doesn't risk any further time spent before the game is over. So 1-1.
Wrestler back on the spy side versus Graash's sniper in round 3 of Redwoods in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
And so far, I'm really enjoying these spies. Pretty active, but not crazy so far. And the snipers, of course, have been locking them down. But if this is what the spy play is like, gonna be like the entire set, I'm very excited to see what comes next.
Ooh, a cheeky little bug attempt. Unfortunately, the ambassador diverts towards the blue bookcase as soon as we click that button. So no harm, no foul, but there might have been harm there.
I think there was harm, Tobo. The way that Graash was moving the laser after that bug happened indicated somewhat to me that he might have had an inkling, and we pick up the highlight immediately afterwards. Yeah,
the highlight is certainly telling. 21% on the flirt, but Wrestler... he got some work to do. Not able to hit the difficult print on the briefcase either. This is not the spy game you wanted as Wrestler.
No, the bug that Wrestler went for is gonna be hard enough to hit as is.
Agent bails on us as well, so we have to take a fake.
I'd like to point out that once again, Smallman is the SDA. This is two games in a row this has happened.
That's goofy. All right, this time we're actually able to get the contact properly, but the only time when you have back-to-back contacts like that is when the double agent does something unfortunate.
Typically, I mean, it makes sense, I think. Were Smallman the real DA in this instance for... Okay, so another contact comes off. It's a perfect contact, so it doesn't give off any extra information to Graash. But everyone in this party that's not a low light has real contact. In fact, everyone in this party has real contact flat out. Everyone was in for that conversation during that contact.
So at this point, that third contact was just to add a little bit of confusion. That's all that was there for. We've got the contact done. We've got half a flirt done at this point, up to 54% after the second one. Quick white time ad to try to give us a little bit more wiggle room. I feel as we just got
seen doing that.
Yeah, there's a good chance. Wrestler, they're going to have a hard time finding a way back into this game, I think.
The way back might be thanks to Bums over here. Just walked past the ambassador, and now we see Seek doing a print briefcase into bread books. There are some AI that are being very, very concerning. And
there's another bug. This one takes, but also was a little bit too visible. Shot comes off. Graash is able to pick that one up fairly easily.
Yeah, this is such a nice bug if Taft weren't getting in the way. Yeah. if Taft weren't walking by us and bouncing us the way that we did, we walk alongside the ambassador. Our arm is covered by the ambassador as we walk alongside each other, and it looks so good. I was ready to just be singing Wrestler's praises about how impressed I am about this bug. Unfortunately, the unforeseen variable.
Unforeseen headlong into Taft, yeah.
Yeah.
Quite a shame.
It would have been still pretty difficult to win this game even after a successful bug there, because I'm pretty sure we were a pretty high suspect, but it would have been very nice to see that as an attempt to make this spy game work. But instead, it is now Graash up 2-1. Snipers all so far onto the last game of Redwoods.
Let's see if Graash can change that trend in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
Following that ST to the ends of the earth as you do.
Oh, hello, Ambassador. You probably shouldn't be here. This is a very incriminating situation.
Yeah, I think that Wrestler is confident that we didn't bug there. I'm glad that Graash didn't take it. There was a split second where if you were on top of it and you're like thinking about the bug instead of thinking about your flirt, you might be able to take the bug as the ambassador joins the conversation and Wrestler doesn't get there in time. But once you don't take it immediately, you know Wrestler's going to be watching very, very closely. So Graash, despite not having the instant reaction for that bug, wisely decides not to, try to salvage it.
But you can tell from these 3 camera shakes we've gotten out of Graash that they're not very happy about it.
No.
It's been a slow game other than that, 34% on the flirt and no other progress as we step out to try to... No, I thought we were heading to the double agent, but it's just Windows for now.
Yeah, the thing I'm always interested in when I'm looking at a Redwoods game is how active is the party being, because activity on Redwoods is compounded exponentially by the fact that just about everything in this venue can be done. You can be doing multiple missions at once, pretty much everywhere, because of how the books and the statues are intertwined. Bug can be done everywhere. Prince is often on some sort of some sort of mission site.
There's a bug on the way in.
That might have been clean.
I think it was clean. Graash was having a hard time, couldn't get into the conversation circle like you wanted, so he had to wind up going to window, and then was able to pick up a bug on the way across to the statue, so it wound up working out for them. Still under 1:30 to play, though, so they've got to get a move on, but this is how you do it. Contact comes off, lets off 2-3 lowlights, which is not too bad.
4. The thing is, what I think happened there is that Wrestler was watching for a reverse drive-by or double walking bug from Duke and not paying as much attention to us as we went the other direction because Duke is that highlight. And that way we got through the bug. Unfortunately for Graash, we don't have the flirt, so we're gonna need one more, which gives Wrestler the opportunity to maybe shoot us on that last flirt.
Absolutely.
Can Graash get away with it?
Close green flirt as we enter the green bookcases to get those 2 in spec. So that's 3 mission completions. All we need is the one more flirt. This is where we're going to get it with 30 seconds left to play. We are in countdown now. The flirt is done. 5 seconds. What's the reaction from Wrestler? It doesn't look like there is one. And Graash is able to take the first proper lead of the match. It's 3-1.
Yeah, nicely done. And from the sniper side, it looks like this bug shouldn't take, right? Because the ambassador starts moving the other direction from where we're going, like right after we pass. And it's a little bit of a trick of the mind, though, because of how early Graash can start this bug. Since Graash can start this bug really, really early, this bug is already complete, basically, once the ambassador starts moving. And so I think Wrestler thought that it couldn't have happened, but of course it could. And that is enough for the spy win. On to Gallery now. Graash up 3-1 in the lead on Wrestler's double.
Yeah, visually it looks like an opposite directions walking bug, which basically never takes ever, but he wasn't walking at the time. The bug comes off clean, and that winds up being the game. Graash up 3-1, as previously stated, and on the sniper side of Gallery first against Wrestler's Spy in 3-2-1, playing it.
Starting off here at a painting pad. There's Ambassador nearby, but I don't think a bug here would be very wise.
Smallman does exist, so this is useful. That was quite a path on the way in there. You don't normally see spies do stuff like that, so even if there's not necessarily a good reason for it, and paths like that can often lose a little bit of suspicion. We're able to get 51% off of the flirt from it as well, and also a green time ad on the way out.
Yeah, I kind of like this from Wrestler. It sets up for a bit of a longer game, even after getting this flirt potentially done right here. Unfortunately, it's just going to be a white test, so we will need that one more. But we can just kind of get a move on, start moseying back to other parts of the venue, looking for some sort of partial mission progress, look for frame games potentially on AIs that are being quite active. Lots of options here for Wrestler.
And it looks like Wrestler's plan right now is to use that time ad to just sit and wait for the timer flirt to roll down so we just don't have to worry about this mission from here on out, which I quite like.
I wouldn't be that big of a fan of waiting it out, but this party is relatively tame at the moment, so anything that we do outside of the conversation is going to stick out a bit more than you might want it to as a Wrestler. So having this timer flirt, despite the fact that it's only for 15%, despite the fact that, it feels like it might be a bit of a waste of time, you could just get that flirt sometime else. Waiting a little bit for the party to pick up an activity before doing anything is perfectly reasonable in my estimation.
That's the flirt done, and no time wasted after the fact. Stops talking and immediately bails from the conversation as soon as that flirt completes. Not able to get the print at the green bookcase, though, unfortunately. It was a difficult print, and we didn't quite hit that green.
We still have an opportunity to do something with the book as microfilm, and I think that I would have liked to see something there because we missed that print. But Wrestler opts out of it, and Purloin perhaps is in range here. Toby is well covered up by this conversation.
I think Purloin's on the cards, opts not to, though. Just feeling a little bit too exposed, I think, just in the wrong places to be doing the missions. But 2 minutes left to play is not a ton of time, especially with the walking distances on this venue can be quite far. But that is less of an issue with the seduction already done and squared away.
Yeah, but that's still 3 more missions to go here for Wrestler, and unless Graash just takes a shot, which isn't unheard of course, we're in a pretty tough timing here. We probably needed to do another time ad as it is.
Well, time travel isn't quite that bad as of yet, but it's certainly getting there. There's the contact coming off for a second mission completion at about 1:30 left to play. Lots and lots of lights.
Oh, and look at that. We have highlights onto the outside conversation, I think for movement afterwards, perhaps, or just thinking that the SDA in the back is not the real DA.
Yeah, I think that's probably what it winds up being. We're back into green bookcases again, and just gets shot for it.
Yeah, looks like Graash had a very nice grasp of those prints, and this was just enough to say, so many suspects are already eliminated from this game because of that contact, and you are the only person who's really been doing anything. And I think maybe part of it is also perhaps thinking depth perception can be hard in SpyParty sometimes. Maybe that could have been a bug path.
Yeah, from the sniper perspective, it looks very much like a bug path. At the very least, it's something you have to credit as a bug path because you see behind all that cover, and because it's all so far away, even though Wrestler was as far from the ambassador as he could make himself, it didn't look like it to Graash.
Well, I mean, as a sniper, you can notice that you can see Irish's arm through Duke here, so you know that she's pressed up against the back of this conversation and therefore is not in range. But like that again, these are some minor details that are easy to miss in the heat of things. And I'm not even sure that Graash missed this. I think it's just enough.
Either way, Graash now up 4-1, up a break, if you will, and stepping into the spy side of gallery in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
Gonna see an early time ad here. We are at Windows. No, we are not.
Very busy on the way through to the back here. Lots of people at these paintings on the right side. We're just going to slip into conversation between the seduction target and the double agent, pick up our 51% flirt off of the close green test, and, well, unfortunately, the double agent steps away, so we're not able to make anything of that as people start to filter into conversations, but still a fairly solid start.
We are accidentally highlight very briefly, but that was just meant to go to Seek, and we receive the lessening of the highlight briefly afterwards.
So that's the flirt cooldown done as we step away from conversation for a second and right back in at the exact same spot we left from, which is a little bit of a tell sometimes. There's the flirt done in 2, another close green, and guess what? The double agent's back. There's the contact. Low lights, low lights, low lights. Actually, exactly the 3 of them, I think it was. An attempted reverse drive-by bug, too, but that didn't quite take.
Yeah, that position is deceptively difficult to get a drive-by bug to actually take. So it doesn't work out for Graash here. Graash missing this pad, but the sniper can't tell.
It's fine. Don't worry about it.
The sniper can't see the pads on the ground, so they can't tell.
There's a green purloin from the back of the conversation and immediately walking out from it as well.
I'm worried. This felt a little bit janky from Graash's side. It just felt like it was going to be very, very visible. And we can see that Wrestler does zoom in on that list. It is now gone. The swap
There's
to
the
finish.
swap.
Hold on.
He lived all the way up. That's so sad. Just rolled wrong on the animation.
Yeah, I think almost any other animation here makes this shot a lot more difficult, but this is never what you want to see if you're Graash. Just holding it way up in the air for the sniper to see, and Wrestler understands this is a swap. I gotta take the shot, and finds it, of course. Very nicely done, but a bit unfortunate for Graash.
Indeed. That said, that is able to keep Wrestler within striking distance as they step back into the spy side of gallery in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
All right.
Looks like we're chasing down our seduction target here, opting not to tuck in right around the ambassador like that and into a very busy, very small pad, which is fair. It does mean we're losing the start of our game without getting any mission progress, though.
Yeah, and we do take an innocent drink from Toby, which is going to impede our ability to do things even further, especially as it's not that we can't go outside with a drink, but it's unlikely that an AI will do so. So Wrestler stops here at the very edge of the pad. By the way, I feel like this is one of the biggest spy tells in the world, to stop here at this particular spot and finish your drink before going outside. I think it's a spy tell because I've done it a million times. And not realizing, shoot, I have a drink in my hand. I should probably finish this before I go outside, or else I might look suspicious. It's not exactly the most profitable thing to watch for, but I do think it's a really big tell.
31% off of the first flirt is exactly the number you don't want to see. It means you just barely are not able to finish your flirt in 2 close white tests. Unfortunately, though, as he goes back out and into the conversation again to try to get the trying to get the flirt done as quick as possible, but the seduction target leaves, and as we go to chase them, they go back again. So that didn't work out at all as we had planned it to. Into the green book case we go. We'll see what we're able to do with this as the conversation implodes in front of us, and now we're quite exposed here, in fact.
Yeah, you don't expect to be exposed here very often, but the conversation, as you said, has just dissipated. So Wrestler's going to put this back innocently, and despite the time ad, feeling not so great about our pacing.
Yeah, not at all. We've got 2 minutes and 25 seconds left to play. We've got 31% on the flirt and absolutely nothing else as we finally find our way into statues for a couple of inspects. But a couple of inspects does not a mission make. It gets us to inspect swap territory at the end of the game, but that is a well-known maneuver on this venue.
Yeah, we are going to
briefcase though, so that's something.
So we have a couple different statues now that can afford us 2 missions completed as the ambassador prints up both of the front statues, one right after another. However, I do expect Graash to be pretty on top of that. As a general rule, Graash's biggest asset on the sniper is his memory. So
there's the flirt starting to get there.
Oh, this is so sad.
That's just the saddest thing in the world. You take
it really is
fake contact when you're in with an SDA and are the only conversation being credited for real.
Yeah, Graash this time did not credit the front conversation like happened last time Graash was sniping. So a bit fortunate there for Wrestler. Oh,
shot for the inspect swap fingerprint situation.
She doesn't have. Hold on, I'm trying to figure out what she could have here. Yeah, she could have prints done after that statue. I think the big problem for Graash here doesn't realize that she can't have real contact because the conversation in the back just doesn't have the DA in, but it is a split. So the double agent does split from that conversation. So in the heat of the moment, easy to think, I'm just going to credit the back of the conversation, the back conversation with that anyway. And look at this. Finishes prints, maybe is potentially swapping, and gets shot. So a boon for Wrestler there. Could draw this back to even right here, right now.
Yeah, that is a big gift. Let's see if Wrestler is able to hold firm on the sniper side, or if Graash is going to get away with this. In 3, 2, 1, playing it. Turning around to chase down the seduction target, as we so often do in the time of chaos. Winds up right next to them in conversation. And doesn't immediately flirt. There we go. There's the flirt coming off. It's a white test for 34%.
A little bit of camera shaking after the white test flirt. You definitely want greens. You can get them, especially on gallery.
Double agent and suspected double agent drop by the window right next to this conversation.
We go for a reverse drive-by bug, but this one, unfortunately, does not take. If this is the second time Graash has attempted one of these, and it's interesting because Graash chooses Taft as the ambassador, and that's not the most conducive to reverse drive-bys.
Yeah, I think he's mostly taking these because they're very, very low risk, and even if they're unlikely to take, sometimes that's a chance worth taking.
Oh, whoa, we got low lit! We got low lit!
We got low lit off our redirect!
Bug. Okay. I'd like to point out that we should have taken that bug for sure. Oh, no, we're back to neutral because we went next to teal and flirted.
Oh, my God. Graash had absolutely no way of knowing.
Yeah, there's no way Graash.
I don't begrudge them that at all, but they were so close to just having a free pass this game.
Yeah, I think missing the bug is the actual more critical opportunity. Because I keep, this is something that comes up a lot. Kane and Duke are the only characters.
Okay, that's really suspicious.
Yeah, this one
that's so
worse.
Suspicious. I have concerns.
Yeah, Kane and Duke have really good sideways bugs because they don't have the same snapback issues as other characters do, especially Kane. But unfortunately, we go for the more suspicious bug, and now we're a highlight from all the way up from low light.
I have concerns.
Concerns that this set might be even after this game? I question why we're out here. We're done with flirt.
Yeah, this feels like an odd choice.
Oh, what?
Wrestler agrees. Wrestler agrees that this is an odd choice. And Graash is low lit. What is happening?
What is going on? Graash now a low light, but still needs 2 missions with only 1 minute on the clock. There's so many highlights in this game for Graash to take advantage of. We do a little bump of a path there that is really awkward, actually. And now we might be going in to try to swap for someone else. Wrestler, I can't tell what's going on.
Yep,
Are we gonna?
It's a fake green swap. He's leaning into the 50-50. Little does he know, he's low lit right now. This man got low lit and then neutral lit and then high lit and then low lit.
We're back up to
high lit. As he goes statue to statue, here's the inspect.
He has to inspect because it's being held by someone else.
Can't get it. He has to go for another cycle. That's
the third cycle.
The shot comes off. What was that game?
I don't know, Tobo, but this felt like a game of missed opportunities from Graash. This bug here at 242, that you have to take that every single time. If you're playing Kane on gallery and the ambassador does this for you, you have to take that because a lot of the time you're going to be credited with it anyway. And then we don't take it. We are a low light, but then we get break up and we take the much more suspicious bug later on, somehow get low lit. Then this end of the game is a little crazy. I don't know what to say about that. But, oh goodness.
It is so hard to dissect games when these sorts of crazy things happen.
Yep. And now we're on to Balcony, which is even more fun to dissect.
Balcony is not be much less crazy. We're square at 4 as Wrestler steps into the spy side versus Graash's sniper on balcony. In 3, 2, 1, playing it. A window start from Wrestler is often not what you want to see on the spy side because...
A highlight on us already from Graash.
Well, there's a few of those.
2 of them, yeah. And one of them is us.
True.
Oh, we break animation on the SIP. That is something that is absolutely going to be something that can kill you on balcony.
Yeah.
If the sniper is paying attention, and they often are because, well, it's balcony.
Seduction target steps away during the contact, so that's going to be a low light on them.
That
we do have
said,
51% on the flirt, though, so we can still get a 3 green on this.
And
Seduction
our
target
ST is
plays
coming
nice.
nice.
Seduction target plays nice. If we can hit this green, this will still be a hard shot to take. We do hit the green.
3 green game, and our ST comes to us.
3 green, yes, they are, but on the wrong person, and Wrestler finds the spy win on the balcony.
Yeah, that's pretty brutal for Graash here, I think. This game was just a very difficult game of balcony to snipe, because we see that the double agent Buns here is acting very, very spy-like and looks like she's going to be finishing missions here in this particular instance. But it's actually us after 3 green with some help from our ST, and that's just almost impossible to shoot.
Yeah, unfortunately, the double agent just did the standard spy game plan. Like, the thing you are looking for as the most common set of spy moves, the double agent did that.
Yes, indeed. And now Graash needs to find a similar spy win. Very, very viable on balcony. A couple of more greens like the ones we saw from Wrestler will almost guarantee it. But you got to get there first.
One thing I want to address real quick, because I'm seeing this in the chat. Doesn't the DA have the yellow triangle? Yes, usually. Except on balcony. Balcony is the place where this doesn't happen.
Yep.
So, that's why that shot came off. On to the next one. Graash on the spy, Wrestler on the sniper in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
Well, our ST comes to us. I don't know if that's quite close enough. 50%, perfectly close enough, actually.
That's a very quick flirt, too. So that's likely to get away from...
Oh, 2 greens already here from Graash, aiming to match.
And exact conversation distance as well. That's not a 51%. That's a 50%. So we can just sit here and wait. Oh boy, this is going to be an almost impossible shot to take.
Yeah, if Graash hits the green test, I think he wins outright pretty much every time. The thing is,
does he hit the green test?
The thing is, even if he doesn't, I'm not sure that his first talk was seen. He's a short character, and he was sitting behind a taller character here earlier on. Flirtation cooldown is done. It is another 3 green game, and
that's done. Sure.
Yeah. Game is over.
Yeah. Well played from Graash on the way back into that. That first flirt came off so fast that you can almost just assume that was an AI talk.
Yeah, I mean, the first flirt just might not have even been seen, is all.
That's true.
And
all right.
So we're on to Ballroom.
That's a split on balcony. 5-5 is the scoreline. And on to the next one. Wrestler as the spy on Ballroom. In 3, 2, 1, playing it.
All right. Starting off, we're not chasing our... What are their ST doing? What's that?
I just watched you go the other way.
That was a little bit silly, and they go straight into center statues, so that's something that Wrestler is going to definitely take note of. It can be hard to know who is a big suspect in a party, but if it's your ST doing it, you usually notice.
Yeah, it's a lot easier to keep track of a frame target when they have an arrow over
Ambassador?
their head.
Twitch bug? Twitch bug? No? Wrestler decides Graash has the angle for it and doesn't go for it, which possibly is the wise choice here, I think, from Wrestler.
Yeah. That was pretty open. Difficult fingerprint on the briefcase does hit it. That could have big implications going through the rest of the game.
The problem with a difficult fingerprint off of briefcase in particular is that the sniper might just credit you with a print anyways.
This is very
A lot of
true.
the time, when you get a difficult print on somewhere that doesn't frequently have prints, like books or a statue or a drink, those are a lot more subtle. But when you're carrying a briefcase, some snipers will just credit you that print every single time.
This is very true. That said, having that print available at all can really open things up for you in the end of the game. It can give you a lot more options, and that can be very important. Problem is, we're under 2 minutes to play, and we just got our first flirt, and it's 31.
Yeah, that's going to be a problem. I have faith that Wrestler can hit a green test at some point so that this is not a 4 flirt, but the progress just isn't there at the moment. Now it's Ballroom, so you can do things pretty quickly, and I would actually what I'd like to see? Never mind. The Ambassador has just moved and kind of ruined that idea, but I wanted to see a Purloin. I wanted to see a Purloin when the Ambassador was stationed over on the right side of the venue, forcing Graash into that longer angle. But now, if we try to take a Purloin, it would be much more obvious to the sniper's eye that we were being offered to.
I'm really surprised we stayed there for so long only to bail to the windows for a time ad. I'm glad we did the time ad. I just think probably we should have waited a few extra seconds for the... Oh, that's a double time ad.
It is indeed. There's a print now on drink that we could try to go for, especially if someone else takes it first. We go for that difficult drink print. Those are always much harder to catch as the sniper. Here we see Twin taking one now, and we request right afterwards. It looks relatively natural for Toby to come to us in this moment.
Difficult print on this drink. Can we hit it? 2 minutes to play off of these time ads, so suddenly the timer is looking a lot kinder. Here's the print. Can't hit it.
This time.
We're 1 for 2 on difficult prints this game. There's our green flirt that we needed, brings us up to 75%, and a fake contact to go with it.
It's the interesting contact does reduce our suspicion and is going to look at this, put a lot of highlights onto other people in the party, which can be very useful. But at this point, I'd take the progress over that.
Yeah, me too. 3 lowlights, 2 highlights out of that fake contact.
I don't love this.
And a green purloin off of a bit of a chain already.
I don't love the positioning that we took that purloin in, but we do see Duke going in and doing a reject, and we've just gotten the wrong arm bug. If this goes, I think Duke dies.
There's the purloin happening.
Flirt. It's fine. We can get one more flirt.
A beautiful little cascade. No, it's not even going to matter. The shot just comes off. And Wrestler, with what looked like a bit of a disaster of a game before those 2 time ads came off, winds up being a pretty beautiful finish.
Yeah, this is very nicely done. The positioning of the purloin I didn't love, but everything after that was perfectly executed on Wrestler's end. This bug is really, really hard to see from this angle in particular. If you are if you're straight on as Graash, that's very obvious. But this slightly off to the right side angle that is very, very common for snipers, Wrestler is abusing that perfectly. And of course, we get a little bit lucky in the fact that Duke, who had gone to those center statues early on in the game, does this reject, was talking in real contact, and just dies for it, right? Makes a lot of sense. Duke appears to be done with missions, and I don't blame Graash for the shot that was taken, but a very, very nice execution from Wrestler to make that game happen.
Yeah, absolutely. And that puts Wrestler in a strong position in this set. It's 6-5 in Wrestler's favor, and Wrestler has Sniper. Let's see what they're able to do with it on Ballroom in 3, 2, 1, playing it. That was just a weird time of chaos.
Yeah, I mean, our SD came to us. Can never complain about that, I suppose.
They sure did. 51% off the first flirt on a very close green.
Some danger for the ambassador here as some AIs walk past, but Wrestler doesn't seem too fazed by it.
And back into conversation with the seduction target and the double agent for a moment before they step away. Or roll away, rather. And that's a 2 flirt. Another close green test is going to get that mission done very early. 2 minutes and 30 still to play.
That's definitely going to free up Graash's pacing from here on out. Lots of opportunities for various missions. It is Ballroom. I wouldn't mind a Purloin in this particular instance, but never mind. I got a little bit overzealous seeing Wrestler's angle, but the rest of it is not as good. Unfortunately, we were going for a fingerprint off the drink, a difficult fingerprint even, and missed it. So a little bit of a sticking point for our spy game here as Graash.
Quite often, people will take these difficult prints off of places that you don't necessarily expect difficult prints to come from, just sort of as like a way to dip a toe in the mission, and if they miss it, that's fine. They're just not going to do prints this game, but if they hit it, it can be a game changer.
That is for sure. A missed fingerprint can be the difference between a win and a loss very, very easily on the spy side.
Now, unfortunately, because we've gotten that flirt done so early, we sort of don't have much to do until stuff starts lining up for us. We could get out to the statues, but with 1:20 left to play, things are starting to get a little bit awkward as we go try to chase down this double agent finally.
Yeah, Seek's into statues, and we want to wait for him to be available for a contact, but we don't have that much time to be dilly-dallying here, and he is not obliging us. He's going into green books, so Graash, cuts the losses here and decides, I want the contact, maybe eyeing up a bug potentially on the way through with the ambassador sitting where he is.
But the losses were fairly significant. We've got 6 lowlights now throughout the course of this game, with that contact
and we
included.
Are now one of them. Oh, are we in range for a bug here?
6 lowlights,
no,
3 highlights is the situation. It's going to be a Purloin.
This
it's going to be a white
death.
test. This is going to be a shot. It has to. Oh, we did get a good look at the tray, actually. But got enough of a look to take the shot. And Wrestler is able to secure a lead. It's 7-5.
Yeah, and that you can see the value of Wrestler's time ads. Those were very similar games. Wrestler time added, Graash did not, and Graash fumbled it at the end, trying to force things through, while Wrestler had a lot more time to set up for something nicer.
And now we step into Modern with Wrestler up by 2 and on the spy side against Graash's Sniper. A much larger venue. In 3, 2, 1, playing it.
And had this been a regular length set for the regular season, we would have seen the exact same scoreline as we saw during the regular season, with Wrestler up 7-5 over Graash. However, that is not the case. Graash has more time to bring this set back under control, and, we've seen 7-5s before. It's first to 10. They've still got to win 3 more games for Wrestler, and that's not nothing.
Lots of SpyParty still to play. The scores are getting up there, but we've still got time. 51% on this first flirt on a close green as we step into this back right conversation.
Wrestler taking it slow here in this early game, which makes some sense. This party doesn't feel all that active. It can be a bit more prudent to wait if not much is happening. But we do go in immediately for this swap, and we're going to put it right back down. We're going to break animations. It's going to be very jarring, I feel like, but I think that he might have gotten away with it because of the amount of people at the bar.
Yeah, I think so. If you can catch the sniper in a moment where their eyes are elsewhere, that's all it takes sometimes. Contact comes off.
There's a potential bug here, but I don't think that would be a very good idea here. You've already
Especially
got
with the
this
swap coming off that we've got off clean.
If you have this cheese swap off completely clean, you don't need this bug. You're going to finish this game otherwise, so it would be very, very bold and over-aggressive, I would say, to try to go for it. So Wrestler decides not to. Very, very nicely done. And this game looks like it's just going to be a delegate into a win for Wrestler. However, one big however, we are the only person who is not a low light that has been to bar recently. So if we decided to delegate now, it would end up being a 50-50.
Unfortunately, Wrestler can't know that all the other bar goers had been lowlights.
Well, he did contact, so I think while they were at bar, so I think he should know for sure.
Fair.
However, whether or not he took note of that information is a big deal as well. Of course, we don't know for sure that he knows, right?
Right. Lining up the statues looks like possibly instead of the Purloin here.
Yeah, that wouldn't be a bad idea, especially given that you shouldn't be a suspect for any kind of other hardtail, really, from Graash's point of view.
So that's 2 inspects down. We do still have to finish up this flirt as well. That's not done yet.
I'm not a fan of the fact that we're not going for it. I know that Twin is a little bit smushed there between 2 other people, and it would be kind of awkward to get in range for a green flirt, but we could get a further away flirt and just accept a 3 flirt game without having to now risk it. We're going for this flirt now, it's cleared up, and we could go get a 2 flirt. But there's a bit of a risk involved here. Now, if we don't get this 2 flirt, we have a lot less time.
Absolutely, this is true. 50 seconds to play. Doesn't hit the 2 flirt. It's a white test.
And
we go to
statues
now? I think we do.
We have to. And now then we'll have to come back and get another flirt, but our ST has just walked away. I think that's actually a good thing for Wrestler. The fact that the ST has walked somewhere else. The sniper is much more likely to notice we're in the same spot. Not as likely to notice our exact seduction target.
Absolutely agreed. 23 seconds remain as we put this statue down. Off to the seduction target we go. We should
consideration
be able
here
to get this without giving up overtime. 10 seconds.
There's going to be a little bit of overtime.
6 seconds. 4 seconds of overtime approximately. How does Graash react to this? Looks like they're already on top of it. It is going to be overtime. It is going to be a shot. And Graash is able to find a win in a game that looked lost at the beginning of it.
Yeah, and this is the problem with we went for this green test instead of taking the less we don't have the upside of potentially doing 2 flirt if we go for this immediately and just go statue and then come back. But if we miss this green test as we did, it can come down to a really, really tight timing, and it punishes Wrestler this time. So just that a bit of dropping the pacing here just a little bit to go for that green test and does not work out.
If we had gone for the flirt right away, instead of waiting in this conversation first, we could have got the flirt, and waited for a timer flirt and got that.
And yeah, I mean, assuming that Twin doesn't move after that,
they wouldn't have. We saw them stay there the whole time.
Oh, I see. Yeah. So yeah, no, it is definitely an error on Wrestler's part. Nicely capitalized on by Graash, but Graash was definitely on the back foot that game. Some very impressive spy play from Wrestler, but a little bit of execution, mistakes in finishing it all up, and that does give Graash the opportunity to come back into this set with a spy win here.
Yeah, absolutely it does. Let's see what they're able to do with this opportunity in 3, 2, 1, playing it. That's a bug.
That hits? That lands?
It
That's
lands.
crazy. That's crazy. And Graash. that's insane. 51% and a bug. 15 seconds into the game, it looks beautiful for Graash.
It certainly does, but keep in mind, Wrestler had a very similar situation last game where they got a hardtail away very early on and it didn't get caught. And that still didn't wind up in a mission win.
Yeah,
Wrestler
but
can still make this happen. It's going to be a lot harder than it was a few moments ago, but this is not done yet.
I think this is even more difficult than to like fumble than Wrestlers 1 is. One, we have a lot of people going to bar, so we can do a delegate and not be like the only suspect. Two, this is even earlier than we got it before. You know, Wrestler got that swap off at around like maybe 250. We're not even there yet, and we've already got, you know, the flirt, and we're going in for this request. So this is a lot of progress for Wrestler to catch up with. So it's not impossible for Wrestler now to win this game, but I would be surprised.
It's a very good point. I would be surprised as well. Here's the contact coming.
And the end of red.
Yeah, I have to imagine this comes with a purloin.
I had expected that as well, but I expected it faster than it came. There it finally goes.
Highlight onto us. The problem is...
I think Wrestler might be on top of this.
Yeah, but the problem is, even if Wrestler is on top of it... Oh, no, we don't hit the last flirt. But, like, we only need one more flirt, right? If Wrestler's fully on top of this purloin, right, and sees it go and knows it's down to 2, you need to shoot for one more flirt. Or just shoot immediately for the purloin.
Yeah, which he shot for the purloin. He saw that whole setup so cleanly that he just decided to assume that no spy is going to just take the list right away, and he just shot for the purloin. He assumed that he had gotten the flirt done already and shot for the purloin.
Yeah, I think the mistake Graash makes here is that Graash opts into this delegate stop talk while currently talking, and it makes for a very janky animation. Yeah. And, Irish leaves immediately, right? Like, that's a very eye-catching thing to have happen. And it's not going, both of those things aren't going to happen if, say, Irish is the one that is doing the purloin for Ponytail here, right? So I think it was that big eye-catching animation, and Wrestler correctly susses out that it can't really be Irish here that is actually doing this purloin, and so figures it out. And despite the crazy bug early on and what looked to be a perfectly won game, Wrestlers finds the only bit of information that could have saved it and manages to take the shot as well.
That was an incredible catch by Wrestler. That was really good sniper play. Wrestler maintains that 2-point lead going in to Library. They're on the spy side first against Graash's sniper. Graash has a bit of work to do to get back into this, but there is still enough SpyParty to play that this can absolutely still happen in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
Yeah, Graash will need to win out from here to not go to overtime. So 4 games in a row is what is required to win this in regulation for Graash. It is possible, of course, but the more likely scenario, if Graash is going to win this set outright, is we're going to see some overtime. Whoa, what is this? This is a highlight.
Yeah, I think it was for a possible bug path that he bailed out of at the end there, but just thinks better of it, decides to bring it back down to neutral.
Now, we've been brought back down to neutral, but surely Wrestler felt that laser movement. And as a spy, when you feel laser movement that you don't really understand, what do you start thinking about? Do you start playing a bit more passively because you think you're now a highlight?
Probably. But also, you're not really sure what could have happened. Oh, he just gets caught on the animation transfer.
Fully on screen, and that is some, as a wrestler, you've got to feel like, what are you watching? Why are you watching right here? Ambassador's over on the left, Toby's over on the right. Watch one of them. But Graash happens to be in that part of the rotation where taking a look at that center area, despite the dearth of activity there.
Yeah. I think probably what happened is he saw the laser swing away, started the action test, and then the laser swang right back again.
Yep. And that means that Graash
stopped in the middle, where there wasn't an ambassador and wasn't a Toby, but was a wrestler in the middle of an animation transfer.
All right, count with me, Tobo. That's 1 out of 4.
1 out of 4 in 3, 2, 1, playing it. Let's see if we can get the second. Graash on the spy side this time around as Duke. Okay, so it's not always easy to get to your seduction target. Sometimes
no, it's not. Sometimes there's people in the way. Sometimes you have to go a long distance. It's like life.
51% on the first flirt, nonetheless, as we're able to get in nice and close for a green test.
A decent amount of activity in this party thus far for Graash to play with. Ambassador putting down some prints, so those will be available for both the spy and the AI. But it's just, oh no, that can't be good.
It was on camera.
Wrestler? Surely you had to have seen that. That felt so obvious, but I guess the eyes just must have been elsewhere. Sometimes things can be on camera perfectly well, and the sniper is just looking somewhere else on their screen.
Yeah, absolutely. We're all human. We can only be paying attention to so many things at a time. Second flirt comes off, 85%. No harm, no foul, that being said. The bug didn't take, so...
Yeah, new lease on life here for Graash, who must have felt like they were surely dead after that one.
In conversation with the double agent, but not a very big conversation, and there's a decent amount of movement. Actually, the blue side is pretty full. Not anymore, as soon as I said it.
I mean, despite the fact that we're still alive, our timer is slowly ticking down, and this is a 5-8 venue.
Yeah, it feels like Graash is feeling like he has a lot of heat on him, and is just sort of waiting for something good to come to him. That's an ambassador. That could be good. There it is.
And
I think it was off screen. I don't think that one was easily catchable. He swung over right at the end of it, but I don't think he was able to get a look at it.
Okay, so Graash has now gotten away with the bug that earlier might have died. He might have died for, and now we're really into a spot where we could see Graash take this game back. Center statues, green swap into a contact? No, we're gonna go side statues. We're not gonna be quite as aggressive as that.
Yeah, a little bit more of a measured approach is what Graash decides to take. We've got the bug done, we've got the flirt done, now we've got 2 inspects and a swap. It's a green swap. He just takes it straight up. This is bold.
Okay. If we step into the center statues next to us, we can maybe delay this swap and get our last inspect. But oh no, we're gonna contact
to try.
Alice goes in for that statue, but no, we wanted to keep her in. She was the one that called to their swap.
A lot of people do this, and often it feels like it's a little bit misguided. I think he got a little bit of a look at that head. I don't know if he noticed what was going on there. It doesn't look like he did. We need one more. Shot! What? That's 2!
That's 2 out of 4, Tobo, and I think that we never saw the swap over on the right side, but we suspected the swap might be happening on the left.
Yeah, absolutely. That brings us level at 8. That is not the shot I expected to have happen, but if there's more than one person doing the inspect swap thing. Yeah, that just happens sometimes. All right, so tied at 8. Keep in mind, this is a best of 18, so if we wind up tied at 9, we're going into overtime, and where we wind up, where we're going to play these last 2 games is Taiyan, of all places.
And, we've been counting up to 4 for Graash, but given it's all tied up and it's on Taiyan, I think anything can happen, Turbo. This is going to be a crazy one, and if it goes into overtime, it'll get even crazier.
It's gonna be wild. Wrestler on the Spy first versus Graash's Sniper in 3, 2, 1, playing it. All right. So we have split Shojis. Starting out with a quick green test with the seduction target for 51% at blue bookcase. Do we do anything with the book is the question. It looks like we're being paid attention to. So the book goes back down innocently, and we're just going to maybe try to get a time ad here, but I don't think so. No, it's just an innocent watch check. And side statues to pick up the first 2. Now, keep in mind, this is probably the only venue in the game where it's actually fairly easy to get a bug off.
Yeah, it's very infamous for that. It's so difficult to correctly guard all the bugs from every angle, and you just have to take the angle that's going to be able to guard the most bugs and hope that the spy doesn't get one you can't see.
So that's the flirt done. 2 minutes and 15 to play. Certainly not in a highly bug-happy position.
Yeah, remember, Wrestler picked this.
Guest list? I don't think he's paying attention to it.
Well, we had already rejected.
Right.
And Toby couldn't offer to anybody, so stood behind us for a little while.
That's why that looked so confusing.
But yeah, Wrestler picked this venue as the last venue, and so this is that advantage of coming in as the top seed. You can be a little bit more comfortable going into these final games, especially as important as they are.
We got that should have been a bug, but it wasn't.
Should have been a bug.
Minute and 30 left to play. Timer is starting to become a factor.
Yeah, Wrestler needs to take that no matter what. Because either you're not credited with it and you get a free bug, or you are credited with it and at least you have the bug after being credited.
Indeed. It was a bit of a situation. Back in the statues we go. We do get highlight for this, so we're going to get our inspects done. Do we try any swap shenaniganry? Indeed we do. It is a green swap. That's a bug on the way out if we want it. We do want it. We do get it. So mission win is pending. Do we catch this swap?
We're taking a pretty severe angle over to the right side of the venue. If Graash isn't aware, this swap would go off and he wouldn't notice.
He can see it really clearly. There's the switch. Does he remember who it was? Yes, he does. The shot comes off, and Graash is on 3 in a row and match point.
Holy moly, Tobo. That means that this looked so good for Wrestler.
It did.
We started counting up from 0.
It's happening.
And now Wrestler needs to snipe Taiyan to just go to overtime, and that is not where I would want to be.
Certainly not. One game. If Graash wins it, it's all done. If Wrestler wins it, we're going to overtime. In 3, 2, 1, playing it. Split shojis again. I think the exact same shoji layout.
Finish up our drink, looking for our ST, but our ST is at a book. We do not go for bug, of course. That would be a little bit silly right in front, especially on Taiyan where there are much better opportunities.
Yeah, absolutely. It's fairly easy to get really solid bugs on this venue. You don't want to go for that one. But it's a slow start for Graash. No obvious flirts available. Not doing any statue or book shenaniganry early on. We're just sort of hanging out for now.
Buttons looks really weird picking up this briefcase here, by the way. It looks like the ambassador's way too close, and he is. She just started that path a lot earlier, before he was in range.
So there's our first flirt. Brings us up to 44%. Not the closest of green tests, but a close green nonetheless.
Graash here, isn't being quite pressed for time yet. Things should happen very, very quickly on Taiyan, as we saw just last game. But it's something to be aware of.
Bit of a weird path on the way into this conversation, but certainly doesn't get noticed by Wrestler. Not going to take any contact here, just stepping in to get the next flirt going.
I wonder if at some point
for a reverse drive-by bug too, if the ambassador drops by. The ambassador drops by!
And
that's not a reverse drive-by bug. That's just a standing bug if we decide to take this. This is hard guard.
Yeah, Wrestler's angle was weirdly bad for that, actually. Graash didn't take it because I think he expected to be able to be seen on the lean, but Wrestler took a very strange angle, in my opinion, that would have let off that bug in a lot of scenarios.
There's the bug. That was a pretty clear lean, but doesn't get caught by Wrestler.
Yeah, but Queen, you saw the animation right after that has an animation that leans in that direction. But look at that. It's a highlight.
It is a highlight. That's the flirt done. That's the bug done. But we've only got 1 minute and 5 seconds to play. We've got 2 missions still to get and no progress on them.
It's a fake for the front conversation. It's perfect otherwise, though. The back conversation gets credit. No one gets low-lit.
The real double agent was the only person out of conversation during that. That's hilarious. All right. Back to the back conversation with the real DA. There's the real contact coming off. 40 seconds. Is it going to be center statue? Is it going to be Purloin? What's the plan finish here? It's going to be Purloin. It's going to be a white chest.
Right on the screen.
We saw it. He saw the fade, and we're going to overtime.
Oh, that's tragic for Graash, but I think that this Purloin was a doomed prospect anyways, with the suspicion on the bug. So,
yeah. I think so.
Yeah, I think if Graash had taken that first opportunity for the bug, this game would be looking very, very different because Wrestler had, as I said, that strange angle that would have given us the opportunity for that bug. But instead we take it when Wrestler has the correct angle, and it does not work out. Now, overtime. 3 out of 4. The counting stops there, but it is enough to put us into this, I believe, a sudden death format, right?
Yep, that's how it goes. I believe, was it Wrestler who had the higher seed?
Yes, Wrestler had the higher seed.
That means Wrestler picks the first venue, and the first person to sweep it wins the match. We're just going to keep passing it back and forth, picking venues, trying to win them. First person to do it wins the match. That's how this is going to go. Wrestler picks the first one, and it's going to be High Rise 3 of 6. Wrestler starts on the spy side and removes fingerprint and swap. You were saying earlier that you cannot remove both swap and transfer. Swap's the one that goes this time around. Let's see how this turns out in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
AI control into the green bookcase here, and microphone is on, so there's a potential opportunity here for some level of shenaniganry, but we do get, look at this. This is a very nice tactic from Graash. You can hover over someone that's at books to make sure they're not doing an animation through the screen. The screen makes things very difficult to see, but if you're hovering over a character, they get a nice light outline for you to watch.
In conversation with the seduction target at a nice, respectable distance. So it's not going to be a very good green test. Actually, it's not bad. 33% on that is about what you'd get out of a close white.
Yeah. Wrestler here at 33%. Not much progress other than that, though.
This is a long venue. You've got plenty of time to work here. So even though it's a very slow game, that's no reason for concern as of yet. Still 2 minutes to play, and it's 3 of 6. Sorry, 2 minutes to play.
Not quite 3. 3 would be much more comfortable.
Yes. Yes, it would be. What is this selection target doing? All right, he finally makes his way in. Not quite the ideal positioning, but pretty good nonetheless. Another green test on the flirt brings us up to 72%. The timer is starting to get a little bit more worrying as it ticks down to 1 minute and 20. But if we switch to the other conversation, which is exactly what we're doing, we've got a nice contact available here. I think that's basically everyone in conversation except for the ambassador. There's the contact coming off. Seduction target joins us as well. Not able to hit the green test, so that's the third flirt, bringing us to 96%.
Safety off onto Duke, but no shot taken from Graash here. Instead, we're going to keep holding, perhaps until Duke talks next, so we'll see.
Got a bit of a wild path from our seduction target there. That should help lower the flirtation cooldown a little bit quicker.
Request here. We're going to go for a purloin, perhaps. Here it is. It's going to be a green.
Green purloin. Mission win pending as we finish.
It's going to the ambassador.
How do we react to this purloin?
Oh, it doesn't go because the ambassador gets pushed away before the drink is taken. Will that throw Graash off the scent?
Well, here's the double agent taking.
No, it's seen. It's seen. No, but there's no shot.
Where it came from. There's got some lights. The shot does come off. And Graash is the first one to strike. Match point again.
Graash here coming back from, a bit of a deficit. Never too far behind, though. And as you mentioned, match point.
This is Graash's second match point and Wrestler's second attempt at saving it, this time from the sniper side of High Rise. In 3, 2, 1, playing it.
%51% on our first flirt. Nicer progress than we saw last time.
Yeah, getting that close green test to start the festivities is always nice, even when you've got a lot of time to work with. It just means you've got less to worry about moving forward. Also in conversation with the double agent. It's not a bad time for it either. Here's the take.
Very good time, in fact. Are there any lowlights? There are no lowlights available.
This is going to make things so difficult for Wrestler. That's a very early green purloin.
Here's a take, though.
Yep, it's a very early take. That's a mission win cooldown. That is the fastest game. He does take the shot, though. And that ties us at 10. We're on to another.
And that's so... That's a crazy shot to take. You understand,
that's
right?
So fast.
There was a reject before us in this chain. In fact, yeah, there was so Salmon was a potential rejector here, and we had gotten into mission win countdown so fast, I thought that there was a chance that Wrestler waits and we win this game right here, but Wrestler rather manages to find this shot so early.
Yeah, I think most people would have waited and been well in their rights to do so, but I think Wrestler just had that sense that things had a chance to be moving very quickly and was willing to take the shot for it, and it worked out. That puts Wrestler in spy position on Ballroom versus Graash's sniper. It's 10-10, and we're still going in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
This has just been a crazy set, Tobo. so many strong plays on both Spy and Sniper. Like, a lot of the time, you'll see, oh no, Wrestler!
That's not a pad!
Oh no!
Everything's fine.
I was gonna say, a lot of the time, you'll see, relatively...
That's a bug attempt, but the ambassador started moving at the wrong moment.
Wrestler just really trying to do things here, and not all of them are working out, but we're still alive.
This has been a messy, messy start to this game, but I don't think it's caused Wrestler too much trouble as of yet. 51% on the first flirt. It's a slow start, sort of.
And Wrestler is, slightly undermining the point I was just about to make about how, a lot of the time when you see a Sniper win or a Spy win, there is usually some pretty, visible mistake that one side or the other made. And, it doesn't have to be a mistake that always loses you the game, but usually there is something that's pretty visible. In this case, in this match, both Spies and Snipers in a lot of these games played really, really good games that would have won again in other scenarios.
Green Purloin, flirt done. A little bit of a catch on the geometry on the way through. That's going to earn Wrestler a highlight. This is not a good time for it. There's the shot coming off as the list fades. I don't even know if he saw the list. It was basically
he definitely saw the list, yeah. If you go back, he was double zoomed on that list.
Oh, yep, he certainly was.
All right, well, Graash in the driver's seat again here in overtime. Never an easy game for Wrestler. Got to snipe again, see if we can't keep this in overtime.
And this is one of the difficulties of opting to Spy first. It means if you wind up in a Sniper Party situation, then you're always the one being pressured. Let's see if Wrestler buckles or is able to hold strong and bring us to yet another venue. In 3, 2, 1, playing it. Graash, third match point.
Jumping in next to her ST, I'd love to see a flirt cheese.
Well, it's a flirt, but not the cheese. 34% off of close white, and we're just hanging out for now.
Graash gets a move on and is going for an early center statues, a bit unorthodox. You usually don't see this from higher level Spies because you don't like to pick up this big highlight, but it is good and important to occasionally do it just so the enemy sniper can't just low light anyone who goes statues early.
Yeah, absolutely. Snipers very often on venues like these will highlight people who have finished inspects in order to keep track of them. That's what they use their lights for. So as a Spy, you try to avoid doing the thing that will get you highlight early on. And in that case, this is the center inspects. That being said, you do have to do it every now and again just to keep your opponent honest. And this might be that game for Graash.
I mean, it seems like an unusual game to do it. This is, match point of the finals. It's a little bit of a weird time to be balancing your range, as it were.
This should be the last flirt. Indeed, it is. So that's 2 missions down. 2 to go. Contact still available. Bug still available. 1:30 to play.
The nice thing about doing those statues early, despite picking up the highlight, is it's actually not all that suspicious for the reasons that we just mentioned. Sure, you're a threat. You have a mission complete, and the sniper knows it, so they're going to be more aware of you. But it's not like you're behaviorally really suspect like you might be if you went statues in the last 30 seconds.
Yeah, really the main downside to doing that sort of thing is that it is harder to get away with a bug because you are literally glowing.
Well, really any mission, Turbo, but bug is the the critical one, I would say. Ambassador is in the area here. We could go for some kind of bug as the Ambassador moves away, but never mind. The Ambassador won't be doing any of the sort of moving away thing because Kayan stops pushing him out.
Yep, so we just step away from it. 30 seconds to play. I'm not sure where these last missions are going to come from.
Agent has left conversation and is being a big pain right now, and no one's in for this contact.
Unfortunately, I don't think we had noticed that Double Agent had bailed on us. It's going to be a green purloin and another fake contact to try to distract from this situation as we go hunt down this bug. 12 seconds. It's going to be overtime if we're able to get this bug away.
But
purloin taken.
Purloin's taken by General here.
And the shot comes off! The shot comes off at the last seconds of asking as Wrestler gets a little bit too antsy and takes the bait. Graash gets it done and is our SML Ruby Division champion.
Really impressive stuff. And you'll notice that it felt like the second contact was just a distraction, but no, it gave contact to 3 highlights, one of which was our purloin taker.
That is such impressive wherewithal from Graash at that moment. At a moment like that, to be able to notice that suspicious people have joined in conversation with the Double Agent. And
he didn't know. He didn't know is the thing. Yes, that was the SDA. That wasn't the real DA. So he was firing off another contact, but it was critical.
Oh.
In the end of red.
Fair. What an incredible set.
Yeah.
That's
crazy.
Joy to watch.
Crazy set. Super well played from both sides, from just like both players. Like, you know, they're just really high level, right? Up in Ruby. This is the 3rd highest division that we have in SML, and these are the players at the top. We're gonna see them in Master next season.
Yes, that does mean there are 2 divisions higher than that. Yes, you should be afraid.
I am afraid. I have to live in one of them.
I wish you luck.
Yeah. Thanks, Tobo. I might need it. But before we get to me needing luck, that'll be next week. That's our cast for today.
Absolutely it is. Thanks a ton for everybody who came out to watch. It's been a pleasure to have you. If you are new here, this game is called SpyParty. You can get it at spyparty.com and or on Steam for $25. If you are interested in talking to other people who play this game or getting into the competitive scene, go to discord.gg/SpyParty. There's a bunch of great folks there who will get you sorted and lots of competitive opportunities for people of all sorts of different levels. There will be more of this next week at the same place. So if you want to witness those higher levels we were talking about, they will be here.
One of them will probably be a live cast as well. I can leak a little bit that Rob and I are currently trying to work out a live cast of our semifinals match.
Ooh, that's going to be a treat if it happens.
So you won't be seeing me here in the casting desk, but you'll see me on the screen.
Thanks again to Nebula, who is doing all of the organization for this and has been acting as our host for this evening, and our observer, and all of that good stuff. It's been a great time. Thanks again for everybody who came out to watch, and I hope you have a great night.
Tobo, hold on, Tobo. One more thing we need to say.
Fire away.
It's not just a more cast next week, although that is true. There's another cast tomorrow at the same time this one started. So 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific, and whatever European time zone. I'm gonna say like 8 p.m. Germany. Central European is that one.
All right. Thanks a ton for that. And again, for everybody who came out to watch, I hope you had fun. We certainly did. We'll see you next time.